Okay, so this is blueberry, this is tofu, and this is parsley. Do you know what they have in common? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. I'm Jenny Kate, and this is the Plant-Based Southerner, our happy little part of the internet where we talk and advocate about plant-based lifestyle and putting vegetables on your plate one meal at a time. Today I want to talk about your gut. And in particular, I want to talk about gut health and the American Gut Project. Now, this study found that if you eat more than 30 varieties, 30 different plants in a week, you will have much more fiber in your system and a lot more polyphenols. Now, why do we care? Because that boosts your immune system and it gives you tons and tons of anti-inflammation compounds. That's perfect because Hippocrates, he said, death begins in the colon, and this is how we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. So I thought I would tell you today how Travis, my husband, and I get 30 different plants in a week. Not in a day, but in a week. What's really great about this study is that it included things like nuts and seeds, spices, and herbs. That counts towards your plant, your 30 plants in the week. So that's actually pretty great. It makes it a little bit easier to get those 30 plants. Today, I'll show you a breakfast. So I like mine savory, so we'll do a tofu scramble. Travis likes oatmeal with fruit, so that's another option that you can use. We'll also show you a main dish. So we both do rice dishes, kind of rice bowls or Buddha bowls when we try to get our, all of our veggies in. So I'll show you mine. Today it's a Mexican flavored rice bowl with black beans and stuff, and I'll show you how we do that. And then lastly, because, Travis and I are in the Air Force and we work out a lot. I don't work out as much as he does, but he works out a lot. I love our recovery shake, and that is kind of how we pump up another maybe 10 or so plants for the week. So hold on and we'll show you how we do that. So we're going to start with tofu scramble. I really enjoy a savory breakfast, so we do tofu scramble. And the first thing you want to do is take your block of tofu and mash it up really well with a fork because it'll get that nice kind of scrambled egg sort of texture, if you will. It doesn't take very long, just a couple of seconds. Tofu is fantastic for protein. Ladies over 40, if you're working out, you probably need a little bit more protein. The plant-based community doesn't care that much about protein, but if you are lifting weights and trying to do, some muscle building, you're probably gonna need a little more than, 35 to 40 or 50 grams per day is what they say per weight. Okay, so our tofu is nice and mashed up, and it does look like that kind of scrambled egg type of texture, and it will taste like it too, which is kind of nice. So that's one. Tofu. We'll add our green peppers in. These are green, red, and yellow peppers. You can count those as 3 if you want to. I don't. I tend to count it just as a bell pepper. So let's toss that in there. All right, then I like to add in mushrooms. These are fantastic. I like them this size, but you can, whatever. These are portobellos. A little bit of onion and some tomatoes. I do put the tomatoes in whole because they're small and they taste really yummy when we're done. So that's 3 more. Greens. So this is a little bit of spinach, a little bit of spring greens, and I just throw that in there too. And we're at how many? So tofu, peppers, spring greens, spinach, mushrooms, tomatoes, and onions. So we're at 8. Now, we were stationed in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and the first thing anybody will ask you when you go out to eat is, do you like red or green? And what they mean is red chili or green chili. It is phenomenal, and we have become completely addicted to green chili in our house. My daughter likes red chili, but we like green here, so we throw green in my tofu scramble every morning. So that's how many? 8? Now we're up to 8. So really just want to kind of mix it all up a little bit, and then guess what else counts? Herbs. Save this for the end for the garnish, but it does count. Spices count, so I will do about a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. This is really yummy, gives it like kind of cheesy flavor. It also actually gives you just a hair bit more protein if you're interested in that. Onion powder, a little bit of this, maybe a teaspoon, not too much. Same with garlic powder, about a teaspoon or so. Again, not too much. You can do this to taste later. Saute it in this big pan. Another way to do it is to saute the veggies first and then add the rest of this stuff, but you can just dump it all in the pot and do it that way as well. When you're done, you're gonna add your parsley and just a little bit of black salt because it will make it a sulfur type of flavor. And you've got 10 plants in tofu scramble. Now, because I'm a Southern girl, I'm gonna eat it with grits, that's 11, and a piece of fruit, that's 12. Okay, y'all, so for our main dish, we like to do rice bowls for lunch or dinner, either one. Travis prefers kind of an Asian flavor, so he'll put edamame or mango, seaweed, sesame seed, soy sauce, that sort of thing in his. I could eat Mexican food every single day of the week. I prefer more of a Mexican flavor in my bowl, and I thought I would show you that today. I start off with some greens in the bowl just to get some extra greens into the dish. We always go with brown rice. Black beans, this is some protein if you're interested. If you're kind of working out or you're interested in your protein intake, black beans, chickpeas, lentils, fantastic for protein. I like to throw in some sauteed veggies. So this is a yellow squash, a zucchini, and some mushrooms. This time I used cremini mushrooms instead of portobellos, so they count as an additional type of plant for the week. And just dump that in there. I did saute these. It takes, I don't know, 3 minutes to do that. No big deal. And then finally, we're gonna top our garnishes. I kind of mix California tacos, like fish tacos always have the slaw in it. And since I'm from Alabama, I like the slaw, so I throw that in there too. A little bit of cilantro because herbs count. And of course, some salsa. Okay, so I like to top mine with a little bit of avocado. Just cut it in half, take the seed out. Super easy, just throw that in there like this. And then squeeze lime juice, always lime juice. And I would count that too as part of my 30. This is my favorite juicer, it's so easy. Done. And that's it. You just mash it up, and then I just throw it on top of my bowl here. And then stir it up. You could stir it up, or you could just leave it the way it is and eat it like a big salad. And that gets you roughly, I think, 10 different plants for this, just one dish right here. You have 2 different types of greens. We have brown rice, black beans, the zucchini and the squash, and the cremini mushrooms. Then we added cilantro, salsa, guac. There you go, I think that's 10. You pretty? Travis works out at 5:30 in the morning like a lunatic, but I really admire his commitment to doing that every morning. And he does HIIT workout, and he does it every day. For somebody who's like pushing 50, I'm pretty impressed with that. I don't do that. I try to beat that, 2:30, 3 o'clock slump and work out in the afternoon. I do cardio a few days a week. I like the rower or a bike. I also do lift weights because women of a certain age need to do that. And I love yoga. That's the kind of workout I do, but regardless of what kind of workout you do, you still need a recovery shake. Because what happens after you work out, or while you're working out, your muscles actually have micro tears, and then they pull, they repair that and come back really stronger. So if you ever have that pain, like you're like, oh my gosh, I can't walk up the stairs because I did leg day, that's what's happening right there. And that inflammation actually lessens if you have a recovery shake, or if you eat more than 30 plants in a week. A few weeks ago, we met Dr. Jim Loomis of the Game Changers fame and his business partner, Chef Karen Dugan, and they taught us this recovery shake. So we're gonna teach it to you today, and we're thrilled to death to meet them. You can find them at Doc and a Chef, where they will teach you all of these things, and it's fantastic. So go check them out, and we'll show you real quick how we do that particular recovery shake, and we'll round out our 30 plants of the week. Okay, so we start with frozen greens. Always kale, spinach is good. Really any greens are good, but we like kale around here. So throw that, throw that in there. Blueberries, yep. Chia seeds, these are fantastic for omegas. Beets, roasted beets, great for your heart. This actually is a banana, if you can see that. We freeze our bananas. This is tart cherry juice. So throw that in there too. Super yummy. Then your spices, because remember, these count. You're gonna want a teaspoon of cinnamon. Throw that in there. I like cinnamon, so I kind of make a little bit more. A teaspoon of ginger, yummy. And a teaspoon, yes, a teaspoon of turmeric. The spices are really good for anti-inflammation. So this kind of goes along with the theme of our day, right? The last thing you want is just a little bit of pepper. Yes, pepper, it's about 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then don't forget your protein powder. We use plant-based protein powder from Vega, and we really like it. So throw this on your blender, and let's have a recovery shake. Everybody, this is my husband, Travis. He's the guy behind the camera.
Hey, party people.
I have the Mexican rice dish.
I have the tofu scramble.
And together we have Dr. Loomis and Chef Dugan's recovery shake.
Yummy.
This is roughly about 30 plants, which you need for a week, not for a day. And that's all this is right here. It's pretty great.
And if you're looking for more information about the Gut Project, we'll have some links in the description below.
If you ever have a recipe that you would like for us to plant-based for you, please comment and let us know. We're very happy to do that for you. All right, y'all. That's
Stay
it.
sunny.
Stay sunny and positive on your part of the internet.
Cheers. Mmm. High five.
My God.
I'm putting that all in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So done. Oh, shh. Try to keep it all in the bowl. Don't do the F-bomb on TV.
I'm not.
Or just, I don't know.